We're back to give you the legal edge. Over the weekend, a man's dog was stolen from his home and business in Potterville. The whole thing was caught on camera. About 48 hours later, state police found the suspect and the dog named Loki. And yesterday, we showed you the moment Loki was reunited with its owner. But many people were surprised and angry to learn no arrests were made. Under Michigan law, this type of crime is considered a misdemeanor. Tonight, attorney Brian Waldman explains why.
What's happening here is there's actually multiple laws at play that lead to this result. The first of those laws is something that sometimes people have a hard time accepting, and that the law says dogs are personal property. They're not viewed as family members. They're not, people are very emotional about their dogs. They think of them as being part of the family. So taking a dog, it again is taking personal property. It's not taking a family member. So it's not like a kidnapping or something like that. It's larceny, it's theft. The other part of the law that comes into that is when you steal something, when there's a theft or a larceny, the punishment or the severity of the crime, whether it's a misdemeanor or a felony, is typically based upon the value of the thing that is taken or stolen. And so in this case, most dogs are going to, in most crimes, most of the time, but not always, if the value of the property that's taken is under $1,000, it's going to be considered a misdemeanor. And most dogs are going to have a value of under $1,000. Now, obviously, some dogs will have a value of more than $1,000. If a dog is used, for example, to breed, used as a stud service, has a real value to the owner, then it makes a difference in terms of what the charges might be. But it's really that impersonal effect of the law creating a situation where dogs are simply viewed as property and not anything more than that under the law. Where we see that typically, and we get calls to our office in civil cases, are situations where, for example, you've got two dogs at a dog park, and one dog attacks another dog and injures that dog, or maybe even kills that dog. And people want to bring a civil claim for a personal injury to the dog or emotional injury to the owner for seeing it happen. And again, it's just damage to personal property. It's very impersonal, it's very insensitive, but that's the way the law views dogs as property. So in a civil case where you have one dog attacking another dog, or someone doing something to harm or kill a dog, the lawsuit, if the dog dies as a result of the incident, would simply be for the value of the dog. And if it's less than that, it might be for, say, the veterinary bills that are required to take care of the injuries of the dog.
All right, Brian, thank you. Stay with us. There is an accident slowing traffic on a local highway. Jim will take a look at that right after.